The first time Alex meets Curtis Ackers, he comes across as a distant and standoffish character. In this strange, otherworldly situation, in which most of the residents of town have vanished, Curtis seems to be behaving as if everything is business as usual. He doesn't seem concerned about the missing people, or about anyone at all, really. Alex and his family don't matter to Curtis Ackers. It's clear in his behavior other people do not matter to him. He runs the town scrapyard and does so poorly. The building is nearly inaccessible, leading Alex to navigate a maze of trash to get there. And once he arrives, Curtis responds in the rudest possible manner. Body language and vocal tone make his opinion clear. He's not happy Alex is there. He only takes an interest when Alex offers him something he wants, his broken weapon. Curtis isn't just the scrapyard owner, he's a mechanic. He fixes things. He complains to Alex about the broken clocks around town, which he hasn't been able to repair, and is happy to trade a working weapon for Alex's broken one. In a town full of monsters, it seems to be a strange trade, but Curtis is pleased. Examining his living space shows a chaotic and trash-filled home with an order uniform in a back room, connecting him to the cult early on. There is some order to the place. It's clear he's organized his belongings in some fashion, but it's hardly a well-kept space. It's off-putting. This is technically a public space, meant to perform a function for the town, but the way it's designed is intended to push the public away. He even has a sign warning trespassers he will shoot on sight. Curtis has no desire to interact with anyone and doesn't care about helping them either. He cares far more about inanimate objects, about machines, than he does the people of Shepherd's Glen. His appearance reinforces this idea. His clothes are layered and dark, his face set in a grim, off-putting expression, scowling. He behaves rudely and speaks sparingly, discouraging player interaction with him. The first time he's met, he comes across as a loner who just doesn't care about what's happening. But his role becomes clearer as the story goes on. When they first meet, Curtis is working on repairing a clock, which noticeably he cannot fix due to the curse on the town. Alex attempts multiple times to speak to him and receives only rude responses or monosyllabic sounds in response. Only when Alex sets the broken gun on the table does he take any interest in speaking. He recognizes the gun as belonging to Alex's father, and responds poorly when Alex barks orders, saying the only one who gives him orders is himself. An interesting phrase, since we later see he is working with Holloway and the cult. He likely takes orders from others, but perhaps in his mind he is merely doing as he pleases so long as it aligns with the order. As long as they let him kill people, he'll work with them. As he examines the gun, he laments that people mistreat such nice things, petting the deadly weapon with a gentle caress. He sees more value in weapons and machines than he does people, and in fact grows angry at imagined slights from Alex's father towards the gun. His values are clear. People are nothing. Tools are useful. They have value to him because he can use them. Alex attempts to give him the broken gun for free in return for information, what little he gets, from Curtis. This doesn't sit well with the man. He doesn't like the feeling of being indebted to someone. It's not kindness that makes him give Alex a gun. It is almost certainly his desire to be completely detached from others, to not owe anyone anything. His early appearance is unassuming, but it's later revealed he's far more involved in the terrible events happening than he seems. When Alex's mother is kidnapped, one of the Order soldiers is carrying a particular weapon, which Curtis is later seen using, connecting the man to the kidnapping, actively participating in harming the town's civilians. The real Curtis begins to be revealed. A sadistic and violent man. His love of machines seems to be tied to his sadism. He's seen with a circular saw a few times, which he uses to fight Alex in Attack L. As a repairman, this is likely his own device, and he clearly values it because it is such a devastating and painful weapon against people. His job as a junkman and mechanic suddenly takes a far darker meaning. He repairs machines in order to use them to tear people apart. One of the photos that can be found through the game is of Curtis Ackers wiping off his hands. Josh's writing in the corner reads, "I don't like him." It's found on the floor just in front of the missing persons board, covered in the faces of those who've been taken from Shepherd's Glen, much like Alex's mother was. The connection is clear. Curtis is behind these missing people, and he had a hand in their grim fate. It's easy to think the man is wiping his hands of grease after working on equipment, but given the placement and Josh's ominous words, it's far more likely blood that's being wiped from his hands. Curtis has a major scene near the end of the game, in which Alex is trapped with him in an elevator, hiding his face with one of the Order uniforms. It's an interesting switch, since the last scene had Curtis hidden in uniform with Alex not recognizing him. Unfortunately for Alex, Curtis sees the man's dog tags and teases him with the knowledge. He refers to him as Soldier, which could refer to the cult, or the fact that Alex believed he was a soldier. He goes on a monologue about loving your work, how fixing things is his gift, but now he has direction and clarity. It's important to know who you are, he finishes. Another dig at Alex, who does not remember who he really is. This is made clearer when Alex attacks and leans down, saying, "Don't you agree, soldier?" It's all his way of tormenting Alex, playing with his victim, something he greatly enjoys. The clarity he talks of is likely nothing more than permission to kill as much as he wants and as violently as he wants, which the Order seems to have given him. It's likely this has been his role for some time, at least since the disappearances started, perhaps earlier. Whenever he joined them, it seems clear his reasons are not faith or belief in the cult's god, but the desire to inflict pain and the permission and power the cult grants him to do so. When torturing Elle, Curtis takes it very slowly. He turns the machine on and off in her face, enjoying her screams, saying boo in front of her. He repeats his sentiment from earlier, "It's a shame when people mistreat such nice things," reinforcing the fact that machines matter more to him than people, and he enjoys the suffering he can create with them. He is a sadistic man, and among the antagonists of the Silent Hill series, one of the more realistic. While figures like Dahlia and Walter have existed in history, the amount of similar people that exist in the real world is slim. But Curtis represents a dangerous and all too common person. Someone who takes advantage of tragedy. When an apocalyptic event like the town's absorption into Silent Hill takes place, a person like Curtis takes advantage of this to let out long-repressed violent tendencies. Unlike many in the town who were killed or brainwashed by the cult, Curtis happily embraces the Order. Why wouldn't he? The cult's god preaches that suffering is enlightenment, and Curtis is happy to enlighten as many people as he can.